Alright, hey guys, just wanted to make a video showcasing my time with the Turbografx 16. It's kind of a funny story how I came across mine. I went to a thrift store and just routine looking through other stuff they had there. I went to their display case in the back, the case that they have to help you open or whatever. I was just looking through, and then I see the logo for the Turbografx, and I'm like, okay, I need someone to open this so I can grab that. Um, so, one of them helped me out, grabbed it. I pulled it out, looked it over. I mean, it was just the unit itself. It didn't have any cords, no games, no controllers. It was just the bare unit and the little dust cover thing. They had it priced at $5.99. I mean, they probably didn't even know what it was. I mean, it doesn't look like a real or traditional console. I mean, it only has one port here. Like, there's only one. It's pretty bare on all the other sides. They probably just thought it was like a piece of computer equipment or something from the 90s or something. So they obviously didn't know what they had, which was my sweet gain. I Yeah, the reason why it was kind of funny, if I had got there 10, 15 seconds later than I did, I probably would have missed out on it, because there was this guy, he got there like, a little bit after me, and when I asked the person to pull this out so I could look at it, I could kind of feel the guy, you could like feel somebody looking at you. I could kind of feel him looking at me, like over my shoulder. I look over, and yeah, he kind of has this like, oh crap look on his face, because he was probably thinking the same thing, like, if I had got here 10 seconds sooner, I would have got that. But yeah, I made sure to check in their case if they had controllers or games, but nothing. I thoroughly checked. Like, the thing was beaten up and dusty, so I'm sure it had been sitting wherever it was forever, just the unit itself. So yeah, I made sure, before I left, I made sure to check their box of like loose cables and plugs and stuff. Because you never know, it could have been in there, but there was nothing. And that guy who was looking over my shoulder, I could kind of feel him looking at me, or yeah, I could kind of feel him like following me from a distance. Like, he's probably thinking if I didn't find the cords, I would ditch the thing, but nah, I knew what I had. So anyway, I finally, I had the system. I just had the system for the longest time, because if you know anything about the Turbografx, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to buy stuff for. You know, um, so I just figured I would slowly buy controllers and stuff over time. And yeah, I mean, I had an RF cable for my NES, so that worked for that. This kind of a similar story. I just was at a random game store in my town. They have, looking for other stuff like that, and I asked them if they had Turbografx stuff, and the guy was like, "No, that stuff's hard to find and expensive." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I just figured I'd ask." And one of the guys was like, "Oh wait," and then he dug through this box of stuff they just got traded in that day. Like, they hadn't even priced it and put it out yet, and he pulled this out, and he's like, "Is this what you're looking for?" And I was like, "Yes, yes." But stupid me, I didn't really do my research. I didn't know that PC Engine controllers, the plug is too small to fit in there. It's not the same size. So, tip, if you ever get one of these like I did, you can't just use Japanese controllers without some kind of adapter, which I have here. This was just made by some guy. It's not like a company or anything. It's just some guy who makes them. It was on eBay at the time. I think this cord was like $15 or so. I bought this like last year, 2015. So yeah, I mean, I got this controller for like $25, which is about average. I mean, I wasn't gonna complain there. Just, you know, if I bought it online, I probably would have paid a little more after shipping. So, and then I bought this at a separate time, so it's not like I paid both the controller and the adapter at once. Yeah, so finally after I got that, I mean, it works. All you do is you just plug the PC Engine side in here, then this side goes in the console. And I mean, it works fine. I haven't had any issues. Turbo switches work fine. This is actually to a PC Engine Duo R. I think that's what it is, because it's the same color scheme. But that's basically our equivalent of theirs would have been the Turbo Duo, which is crazy expensive too. Anyway, yeah, so finally after all that, I decided to buy a game just to finally test the thing out. You know, I had it forever, so I just bought the cheapest game I could find, which is this one. I mean, this is the most common game for this system. It was like $6-7. I just needed a power cord, and this one eventually works. It's to my Retron 3, and I think the output on the voltage is a little bit lower than what this uses, but I mean, it's worked so far. I don't play it on extensively hours on end, you know, so just kind of careful with it. But yeah, the game's just fit in here. System worked. I was happy after finally getting to after Frankensteining the thing together, you know. Turbografx unit, Retron 3 power cord, NES RF cable, PC Engine controller, and some guy's homemade adapter for that controller. So after finally piecing that together, I was able to get it to work, and it's worked fine. I mean, I like it. I opted to get a EverDrive because, like I said, this stuff is really expensive to collect for. Like, at least the good games and stuff, you know. Like, I'm sure people who collect Turbografx PC Engine probably laugh at people who think NES collecting is expensive, you know. Because this system, you know, not only is expensive, but stuff is hard to find. Like, I've never ran into PC Engine stuff in the wild, besides those 2 times. I mean, I've never ran into games. Well, I did once, but it was a guy who was a collector himself, so, you know, he knew what he had, and he was charging, like, eBay prices for, like, Splatterhouse and Bonk and all that, which is, you know, I knew I wasn't going to get anything cheap from him, but yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty satisfied. I mean, with this thing, you can play Turbografx games, PC Engine games, ROM hacks, homebrew, translations, you know, fan-made stuff. Like, you can play anything. There's even, like, a few NES games people have, like, ported to this, and they look pretty good. Like, Mario's one of them. The first Mario Brothers, or Super Mario Brothers, DuckTales 2, and like a couple other, I think Ice Climber was even on there. There's like a 5-in-1 ROM on here, and it had Ice Climber on it for some weird reason. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to share my story with that. Anyone who cared, you know, I figured the only people who care are people searching for it on YouTube. But, because, it's kind of a unique story, you know. This system, like I said, is really expensive. It's not every day you find one for $6. Well, you know, after I bought the controller, game, all that, it's a little more than that, but yeah, I looked it up online before I did this. Like, you know, just what these have sold for, like, just how I found it, just the system, no cords, no games, no controllers. About $70 to $100 just for the system bare. pretty damn expensive. I mean, those were just the last few listings that sold. You know, I feel like 70 would have been a pretty good deal, but it's not like I would have bought it then. I'm just considering how expensive that is. I feel like that would have been an alright deal. But I didn't pay anywhere near that, so I mean, I like it. As far as like games to recommend, I'm kind of spoiled with this, you know, since you basically have everything using an EverDrive. You don't really get attached to games, you know, like you would collecting a physical format like this. But I mean, I can play anything. I mean, I'd rather have this than just this. You know, this game isn't even really that great. Let's see, what have I been playing recently that I liked? Override, Wardyne. Those are like side-scrolling shooters, like spaceship shooters, you know. What do they got on here? Ooh, they got Parasol Stars, which is the sequel to Bubble Bobble. That one's pretty good. I like Liquid Kids. You're like this like penguin platypus thing, and you like throw these water balloons at enemies to like freeze them. I don't know, it's pretty fun. I played Magical Chase. I hear that's a really, really expensive game for the Turbografx. I mean, it's alright. It's another spaceship shooter. Well, it's not a spaceship, but it's a shooter. You're like this little witch with like these little star powers. What else? All the Bonk games, can't go wrong there. I'm sure Avid PC Engine or Turbografx collectors could give you better examples. I mean, I just looked up, you know, top games lists on YouTube like anybody else would, and since I'm so spoiled with this, I play them for like 5 minutes and then move on to the next one. Kind of a downside, but you know, it's still awesome to have. Yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. You like PC Engine? You want to get one? Or Turbografx? PC. I hear collecting for PC Engine is actually cheaper than Turbografx, even though, you know, they're basically the same system. Just don't make the same mistakes I did. You can't use PC Engine controllers without an adapter. Vice versa on the PC Engine, you know. You can't use PC Engine games on here natively. You'd have to buy, again, some kind of adapter. Oh yeah, they have the CD unit. Oh, those things are crazy expensive. Those are like upwards of $200-300, and they're not even, you know, they're kind of faulty. So I mean, it's probably cheaper to go the PC Engine route, just because that stuff's more common. I guess some kind of complaints I do have with the system. Like I said, it only has one controller port, which is dumb. One built in. You have to buy a multi-tap in order to have 2 players. I mean, the multi-tap gives you 5 slots, so you can play 5 players, but still, you need that just to play 2. And then again, that it's RF only. That kind of sucks. There is a turbo booster. It kind of looks like the cover here. This black piece in the back comes off, and then you stick on the turbo booster, and it gives you composite video. But again, that's like close to $200. I'm not gonna pay that for composite video. I mean, I've seen people make homemade cords and adapters to get composite. I'm probably just gonna do that because they're significantly cheaper. But yeah, I mean, pretty overlooked system. If you want to try, if you have the opportunity to get one for a decent price, I would totally do it. You know, pretty overlooked gem of the. I mean, it was supposed to compete with the NES, but you know, Super Nintendo came out shortly after it, and so did the Genesis. So this thing's days were pretty numbered because Nintendo had a freaking stronghold on the game developer market. You know, basically, the contracts they made with all these developers was that they couldn't make games for other systems, which kind of sank this, at least in our region, US. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if you ever come across it, I would totally buy one. I would recommend it. It's fun. What I've played. I mean, I would definitely get one of these if you're thinking of getting one. Just like I said, everything's really expensive. So this, at least you can try stuff before you buy, if anything, using this. And you could, you know, hey, there's always emulators, but, you know, nothing beats real hardware. And I mean, when you use this thing doesn't know the difference. It just assumes it's a game, because all it's reading off of is this. And this also works on PC Engine as well. There's a little switch on the side here. You can switch it. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of iterations of this. They're also equally, if not more expensive, like revisions, and there's even a handheld version, which I would love to have, just because I love handhelds, but, you know, I don't want to sell my car just to get that, basically. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. If you're thinking of getting one, if you want one, if you've played one before, or if you have one. I mean, just let me know what games you like, what you like about the system. I like how it has turbo built into the controllers natively. Like, even the ones that actually came with the system had that, which is cool. I mean, I'd love to get more accessories and stuff, but yeah. Like I said before, people who collect for this probably laugh and scoff at people who think NES and SNES is expensive. Well, yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. Let me know what you think. Alright, later.